Surviving Skin's Pale Girl Challenge is proving that all women can achieve a sun-kissed glow with some simple, easy makeup techniques. And here to demonstrate are Meghan Rothschild, founder of Surviving Skin, and Liz Washer, local makeup artist. Liz, great
Hi.
to have you here.
Great to be here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on. And Meg, you have your face is very natural right now,
Yes.
and you're about to get a sun-kissed glow. You're taking the Pale Girl Challenge. So Liz, where do you start?
I always start with clean, exfoliated skin for any makeup look. And certainly the message that we want to get out today is to start with broad spectrum sunscreen. I have a few samples here today. Megan's already done a little bit of skin prep, so we're just going to get started with color.
Perfect.
But yes, normally at home you want to start with very exfoliated skin because any bronzers, any color products aren't going to look as nice if you have scaly patches of skin.
So exfoliate and sunscreen all the time.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So next, now she's done that. So
Yep.
what's the next thing?
The next thing we're going to do is actually bring a little bit of a warmer tone onto her face. And what I'm doing, what I like to do for myself is to use a foundation product mixed with a little bit of moisturizer to sort of create my own custom tinted moisturizer. And you can
Okay.
use a foundation that maybe you bought at the mall and then you walked out to the car and you're like, oh my God, it's so dark. So you can actually use that if you cut it with a little bit of moisturizer and then just apply it, especially on the higher points of the face. So that's one technique.
Okay.
So I'm going to demonstrate that.
And then it kind of, if you mix it with moisturizer, it also gives it that dewy look because it's, of course,
Exactly,
moisturizer. so-
exactly. So this is a little bit deeper than Megan's natural tone.
So you really can adjust it. You could put more moisturizer or less to kind of, just like
Exactly.
when you were in, you know, 3rd grade and you went to art class and you wanted your blue to be a little lighter, so you had some white to it. So
Yep. And using this warm
kind of
tone
thing.
too, using the warmer tone too will knock out some of the red. She doesn't have a whole lot of red in her face like I do, but it does take it down a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks really, really nice. It gives you that warmth.
yes, it does, and that's the look that women want to achieve is that the brown, warm,
Tuck your hair
the
back.
bronze look. So you can already see it happening.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a very, very sheer application. This is not very much foundation. And I'm focusing mainly on her cheekbones, on the higher points of her face. You want to keep under eye kind of light. You want that. You don't want that to look too dark because that can be very aging. It can make it look like you haven't gotten enough sleep.
Right. Yes, you don't want to make it darker under.
No, 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 definitely
not very
not.
pretty.
Definitely not.
People think you've been out partying a little bit too hard.
Exactly.
So I noticed that you're just putting it on the high, like her chin, her nose, her cheeks. You're not really applying it everywhere.
Yeah, Megan doesn't need full coverage makeup, so I'm really, especially just for every day, so I'm really just, you know, hitting places that have a little bit of red, and especially the higher points, because that's where the sun would hit naturally.
Okay.
Though, we do want to get down onto her neck, because you can see Megan's neck is much fairer than the rest of her, because she's got some bronziness.
Yeah.
So you want to actually deepen the color of the neck too, so that there's not a line of demarcation.
Right. You don't want it to look like it's a definite.
And you can already see how there's a little bit more warmth on her skin.
I feel like people make that mistake a lot.
Oh yeah, it's a very common mistake. Because you don't want to go too pale with foundation, that can make you look older, but the trick is to make sure that you blend it out.
It continues. Yes.
Exactly. So
Now-
this is just warming her up just a little bit. And she has, you use a little bit of self-tanner
Yep.
too, so.
That was my next question. Self-tanner. So Meg, I know that you use the instant self-tanner. There's a lot of options that you can use that aren't necessarily makeup, but will give you that glow without the harmful effects of the sun.
Exactly. Self-tanner is a great option. You do have to kind of get used to it. It's a little tricky if you haven't used it before. There's lots of things that can go wrong. Your palms can turn orange and so on.
But if it does happen, you have some tricks here. You said baking soda might help. Or...
Yeah, great things to have on hand if you're doing self-tanning at home is, you know, make sure to have a warm, damp washcloth so that you can clean your hands off in between. Hands are great for application. Especially for any products that don't have a tint, so you can't actually see where they're going on, and you don't want to overlayer and get those stripes. But you want to clean your hands in between.
Yeah.
And if you get any streakiness, actually exfoliating with baking soda and a little bit of water on a washcloth is a great way to tone down the orange
These are great
stripes.
tips because you know it can happen, especially if it's your first time applying it. So,
Exactly.
Liz, we've got about a minute left. So Meg has the bronzer on that you mix with some moisturizer.
Yep, she's got just a little bit of a warmer tone. So what I'm also going to do is add a little bit of bronzer. I love this one from Benefit. And I like to use a fluffy brush so I don't over apply. And again, we're just hitting really just where the sun would hit her face. The cheekbones. I'll clip her hair back real quick just so you can also show like up by the hairline and the temples. And across the bridge a little bit. A little more.
So really the trick is for an everyday look is to use a foundation that's darker than your skin mixed with moisturizer for a bronze look. It doesn't have to
one
be a
way to
liquid
do
bronzer.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. There's lots of options. There's cream bronzers. There's. I like to discourage women from taking a bronzer and using it all over their face because it can be very powdery, it can be very heavy.
Yeah.
You really just want to play with the tones. And I know it sounds dangerous to start playing with a darker color than your skin, but if you blend it out so that it's matching, most people get really tan on their arms, or they use the self tanner there, so that's what you're kind of going for the match. And you can already see she's warmed up a little bit.
Glowing.
Very, very natural.
Healthy glow.
And another product I wanted to demonstrate, it's called Body Bling. I just have samples here today, but this is a lot of fun for doing bronzer on the arms and legs, because this is the J-Lo Glow. This is Scott Barnes' product. He's the makeup artist that works with Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo Glow. That's what we know.
Exactly. So this is one option, and there's other options that you can get at the drugstore, at Sephora, that have the same effect, that have kind of a shimmer. It can be more gold.
There's so much you can do. There's so many.
Absolutely.
I was just checking that out before we started, and just so much that you can play with and have fun with and get that glow.
Exactly.
So now Meg has, it looks like where the sun would hit on her face is where she has the glow. So it really does look like it's a natural bronze.
Exactly. And you can, if you want to do a little bit of highlighting with a shimmer product, you just want to keep it to the cheekbone.
Yeah, well, we're just about shimmer on the face.
No,
right,
definitely not.
We're just about ready to say goodbye, but is there anything else that you can suggest for a sun-kissed glow?
There's just lots of experimentation that goes into it, I think. You know, play with the creams and blend them with moisturizer. See what works on your skin, too. Megan's got warmer skin than I do. If I put something that's too yellow on, it starts to look a little bit jaundicey on me, so I really can't go into that orange territory.
Want a healthy glow, right?
Exactly, you want it to be healthy. But it does take a little bit of experimentation and working with the products that you have. And you might already have things like this at home. You can mix mineral powder. A great pro tip is to mix like your mineral foundation into your sunscreen or moisturizer and apply that.
Great. Thank you so much, Liz.
Oh, you're welcome.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
We can take the clip out and now we can kind of see we'll get
the overall effect. Give her a little lip gloss to finish off, too.
Oh, yes, of course.
This is Megan's lip gloss that she brought.
So well, you need the lip gloss, of course.
Exactly.
No look is complete.
Exactly.
No, yes. And look at that. Didn't spend any time in the sun. Thanks so much, ladies.